Did you know that Portugal is the oldest nation in Europe? The small country on the edge of Europe has existed almost unchanged in its current borders since 1139. This enormous stability and a very high quality of life and low cost of living makes it attractive for more and more people to settle in Portugal. My guest today, lawyer Renato Diaz, gives us life-changing insights about the Portuguese real estate market. So if you want to buy a property in Portugal or are already a property owner in Portugal or you want to build in Portugal, stay tuned. Hello and a very warm welcome to the Alentejo-Holidays channel. My name is Moritz Engelhardt. Join us on our journey to the mysteries of success. We really strive to offer you authentic added value so that we can all make this beautiful world a little bit better. And now I'm looking forward to welcome my friend Renato Diaz after the intro.
Life is good.
Renato, for the people who don't know you, you are a lawyer and an entrepreneur in Portugal. You studied Portuguese law at the oldest university in Europe, the University of Coimbra. Your father is also an entrepreneur in France. So you speak French and Spanish in addition to English and Portuguese. But let's dive into the first question. So once you found a property that seems interesting to you, what exactly are the papers you should take a close look at?
Hello Morris, good morning, thank you for your invitation.
Yeah, thank you so much
I'm
for
glad
coming.
to be here
Renato, it's an
and
honor
to
for me.
share with you some of my knowledge.
Yes.
The papers you need to look for a property in Portugal when you want to live here, you want to invest here, you want to buy a piece of land, a house, whatever. You need to have very careful steps to take.
Okay.
So the first thing you need to check it is the deed, if you have access to it, the previous deed of the property. There you can see the owners, you can see the value of transaction, you can see any limitation in the property. We have another thing very similar with the same value to the deed we call DPA. It is a private document authenticated. It is also valid to formalize the selling. And this is made by a lawyer or a solicitor. You have another document to look. It is caderneta predial.
Okay.
With this document you can see the register, what is registered about this property. If, for example, you have a piece of land with a source of water,
Okay.
and people want to go inside the neighbors and they have the right to go to collect this water, maybe your property have this limitation to force it to allow the neighbors to go inside. And all of these rights are described in this document.
So you talk about that it's really good to have a close look at the formal deed. So where exactly can people find this formal deed, Renato?
You can find the deed, well, in fact, if the owner share with you, it is easier. Normally, if you try to deal with an honest person,
Yes.
he will show you all the documents he has about the property.
Okay.
And we can say the same about real estate agents. When they try to sell a property, they need to show you all the documents they have.
Okay.
And you can find there all the information you need, all or almost all. Because every property have a history, and
Yes.
normally this history need to be in documents, but not all the time. In some cases, this do not happen, and problems happen.
Yeah.
And lawyers are here to solve.
Yes, yes, because I heard quite interesting stories from other persons that they bought a property and then suddenly other guys showed up and say, oh, I participated in as the owner, and they show some documents. And how can you exclude that somebody from Brazil, for instance, suddenly shows up and say, I'm the part of the owner?
You don't have formula 100% sure, but to exclude this kind of problems. But the best thing you can do to be safe the most possible, it is check the documents existent. And these documents need to have all the complete information normally.
Okay.
So the first, it is the deed. The second one, caderneta predial.
Caderneta predial. Okay.
Caderneta predial, this is from the tax office.
Okay.
Because the tax office have normally a record as well for all the properties in the municipality area. Every municipality have their own map with properties, or book with article numbers of all the properties, or almost all.
Okay, so you would suggest if somebody from Germany, Great Britain, France, whatever, get the idea to buy a property in Portugal, to take some professional help, or at least from a Portuguese citizen, because as far as I understand now here, it sounds a little complicated.
In fact, it is not complicated when you know how to deal with it. Mm-hmm. But for people who don't know our system, it is always better to have a professional to help, and a professional you trust.
Okay.
And mostly, if possible, a professional of the region, the area where you want to buy.
Okay. In Portugal, property boundaries are not always clear. I experienced it myself, you know.
Yeah, I know.
So what exactly can I do to get legal clarity here?
Well, to be more sure about the boundaries of the property, again, you need to check documents, caderneta predial, cement. In some cases, topography. You can ask for a specialized person to make the draft of the property. And you have also BUPI in this moment, where the owners need to declare the boundaries exactly, and the area of their property. Okay, so is there any institution I can ask to come and show me my boundaries of my property? Because, for instance, I know a few people, and I'm affected myself with this problem, that some guys saying this is my part, and but you think no, I think the border is a little bit more over there. Is there some independent institution, or how can I solve this problem if I get some problems with my surroundings? We don't have a private institution to deal with this. You have, if you have doubts, it is always important to talk with your neighbors, if possible. Sometimes it is not, people are not all the same, but if it is possible, talk with the neighbors and try to find the best way to define the boundaries. Another thing you can do it is check in BUPI, because in BUPI the owners declare the boundaries of the land. This is valid only for artigos rústicos, only land, not houses. Not houses. Yeah.
Okay. And this Bupi is a website, or where can I see that?
Yes, you can find on internet, but for foreigners,
Yeah.
this
This
will
is
be
what I got.
this will
You need
be
help.
a little bit more complicated
Yeah.
because they don't have the Portuguese ID card
You need
and-
okay, so you
and,
need a Portuguese ID card for this?
and don't have the codes to access to identify you online
Okay,
as citizen A or citizen B.
okay.
You need to have this, or you can ask for a professional guy to help you in this topic.
And how can I tell whether the property offered for sale was built legally?
Well, to know if the property is legal, you talk about houses.
Houses, whatever,
Yeah.
all the buildings there, they
All-
could be there.
All the buildings need to be approved by the municipality. And you need to have a project to build something in your land. And this project needs to be approved by the municipality. So you can go to the municipality, check the documents they have, and the license, because in the end of the construction, the municipality will send you the fiscal to check if the construction is okay, correct, follow the rules or not.
Yes.
And after they give you a license, we call licença de utilização.
Okay.
And this license show what you can do with this building.
Okay.
It is for living, or for accommodation, for services or commerce, or whatever, for industry.
Okay. So if I get it right, so every property should have a kind of a number or an identification code or something. And with this code, I could go to the municipality and say, okay, can you give me some insights? How big should be the building there? For what purpose can I use the building? Or is it allowed to live there? Or is it just a barn or whatever?
Exactly.
Okay, so
Every property have a number, and this number start in the tax office from caderneta predial. We call matriz, is the matrix
yeah.
of the land. And you see in some areas a map divided with numbers and the boundaries of the property. In some cases, yes. In some cases, not. You have, for example, a big old book with article numbers and description of the previous owners. You have all this information there.
Okay.
But now, in our days, it is a little bit different. It is. It could be better to show you how it looks like than describe to you.
Okay. But do you just need to dive into this topic a little more, or ask somebody to help, and then
If necessary, I can help on this.
Yes,
No
of course.
problem.
Yeah. So if you realize you may own a house that was built without any planning permission, what can I do?
If you have a house without planning permission, not legalized, you have a problem, and you need to solve all the problems have solutions. And if you have a construction not legal, you need to legalize it.
So do I have to remove the house then, or?
It depends the situation. It depends the location, because if the rules in this area don't allow to construct at all, if it is a protected area, for example, now it is mostly probably you need to destroy the construction. Without planning permission, not legalized, you have a problem, and you need to solve all the problems have solutions. And if you have a construction not in Portugal, you have different areas with different rules of construction.
Yeah.
And you can check these rules in the municipality.
Okay.
If you try to construct, for example, a house in a protected area, the municipality will check and probably force you to destroy this construction.
Okay.
Otherwise, you can try to legalize.
Okay.
It is a hard process to follow, but in some cases it is possible.
Okay. And how can I find out if it's possible, or?
Again, you need to check the rules in every municipality, what they allow you to construct or not.
Okay. Because many people I know, they have a legalized house, but then part of the house is legalized and then some attached parts the former owner maybe forgot.
Well, if you have something legalized, the rest will be more easy to legalize.
Okay, so this is
of course,
part of hope we can give to the audience. Yeah, okay.
Of course, you will probably pay a kind of fine or fees to legalize it, but
this is possible.
Very possible, yeah.
Okay, and you talk also about the area before. So is it also more difficulty, for instance, to legalize projects in the Algarve than it is in the Alentejo or more further north? Are there different areas, or is this a common rule for the whole Portugal?
Well, the base of the system is the same in all the country, but the rules are applied in some cases differently because the reality is different.
Okay.
The culture, it is a little bit different too in function the location. So the people who will apply the rules have a different way to see the problems and see the solutions.
Okay.
For example, Algarve is a very touristic place. For example, Alentejo is more quiet, more peaceful, more connected to nature.
Yes.
And who will decide what you can construct or not will follow different feelings, maybe.
Different angles
and different rules, of course.
Yeah.
Different perspectives.
Okay, also different rules. So maybe can we say that, because you said Alentejo is more quiet, and so Alentejo, they want to attract more business and people there, and the Algarve, they feel a little overcrowded, so they are much more strict with these rules. Can we say it like that?
Yeah, I think we can say like that.
Okay, yeah. So it seems to be a huge difference where you are located. So now to the next questions. I've studied my house papers and I've seen always these words, urbano, and we'll explain what is the difference and why it's so important to know how much urbano you have on the papers.
Well, the difference between the word urbano and rural, it is big. And again, we start always with the tax office and the classification they do for the lands and for the houses. When we talk about caderneta predial, it is the document from the tax office to identify the property. You have caderneta predial urbana or caderneta predial rústica. And caderneta predial urbana, normally it is for buildings, for houses, for big buildings, whatever, for constructions.
Okay.
But this is not 100% sure, because you can have a piece of land, you try to legalize to build, and this piece of land will be urban too. If it is not, you can, maybe in function of the rules you have in this area, you can change it to urban as well.
Okay.
And build your house inside.
Okay. Okay.
And artigo rústico. It is normally used for land.
So for the for forest or
forest, for agriculture, field, whatever.
Okay, so you can own a property, and part is urbano and part is rustico.
Yes, you can have a big property divided in pieces, connected, and every piece have a different number or a different type, urban and rustico. Okay. You need to check the documents carefully to know it. Okay. And another thing, you can have also, for example, old buildings, stone buildings, abandoned ruins, whatever, not declared, and you have in the caderneta predial rústica nothing. Nothing. Not even. Okay. This is possible. But you can try to legalize it.
Okay, so I think this is a really important information for our audience, because I know many people who try to buy cheap properties with some old stone buildings. So if I get it right, your information, you need to check really carefully if these old stone buildings are not just buildings, so they are registered as urban. Okay. Otherwise, we could have a big problem. Or problems to solve.
Some problems to solve, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So this may be really important. And I met a lot of people here, I don't know how, but it seems to be important for some people, that's why I'm asking this question. They buy the Portuguese properties from outside Portugal. So my next question would be, is it possible to buy a property without a Portuguese bank account?
Yes, it is possible to buy a property without a Portuguese bank account, but of course, if you want to buy a property, you want to live here, or you want to make business here, it is always important to have a Portuguese bank account, because it is probably faster to transfer funds, or, for example, to be connected to the tax office, because taxes are always important.
Yes, this is a kind of a special thing in Portugal.
And you will need to declare your bank account.
Yeah. So the payments for the tax and social security is slightly different. You cannot pay with IBAN or SWIFT. You have to use this Portuguese transfer system, what you can only have in the Portuguese bank account. Is that right?
This is possible.
Yeah. You can also ask the financiers for the IBAN?
You don't ask to financiers. Financiers is only for pay taxes, make your fiscal declaration.
Okay, so there is no IBAN on finances.
No IBAN. This is only for banks.
Okay, in Portugal, yeah.
In Portugal.
Yeah, so you need to have a Portuguese bank account to pay your taxes and everything.
Yes.
Okay.
It is important. It is not mandatory, but it is important.
Okay, so it would be a lot easier.
But if you don't want to have, when you buy a property, for example, you can always ask someone to support you. For example, the lawyer, you can transfer the funds and the lawyer pay the property for you.
Okay. And if you finally bought your property, everything, and how can you make sure that all the legal rights that comes with your payment and everything with the deed are really transferred to you, and not somebody else will show up and say, okay,
the deed, it is the document, the most important document to transfer rights with properties or for the properties. There you can transfer the ownership or part of the ownership or whatever. The deed is the most important document when you buy a property.
Okay, but
there you have all the rights object of the deal.
And is it possible to register the deed?
And after have the deed, you need to have the register of this property.
The register in Finanzas, or where do you
register in the register office center.
Okay.
It is a different thing than tax office.
Okay, so not so easy. Many things to take care of.
Because the information you find in the tax office are just presumption of ownership. Don't represent necessarily ownership. But the information you have in the deed and in the register of the properties, this is the most important.
Okay. So I've heard that there are big differences when it comes to legal actions depending on which area you are in Portugal. We talked about this before. Can you explain a little bit more, because I hear a lot of people from the Algarve are really heavy complaining about things. They go here in Alentejo really smooth, and I feel personally that I got help from the municipality, and people in the Algarve, they have sometimes problems. They don't appear here. Can we talk a bit more about that, because it seems to be important where you are located, how you have to deal with a certain situation.
Yeah, as we spoke before, in all the country, the base of the rule is the same. The law is mostly the same, but it can be different area to area. Algarve can have different regulation than Porto. This is absolutely 100% sure.
Okay,
The rules, for example, to build are not the same.
I'm not the same.
Exactly.
But if you think you are really in huge problems or in huge trouble because of the authorities, is it worth to take a lawyer and check, or do you think there is no effect by that?
It is always important to have a professional with you to help you, to support you in your investments and your deals.
Okay.
And mostly someone you trust.
Okay. And how can I, because I'm a foreigner, or many people come as a foreigner, how can I create, or how can I get this feeling? Who can I trust? Or is there any certificate or is there anything? Can you give any hints for people?
You can find some professionals from some branches in the list. For example,
what list? What list exactly are you talking about?
For example, lawyers need to have an inscription, need to be registered in the Portuguese Bar Association.
Okay.
If you want to be sure, you can check if this person is really a lawyer or not. Type the name and the address, and you will find if this person is really a lawyer, for example, or not, and you can see if it is in function or if he was deleted from the deleted. I don't know if it's the best word.
Yeah, but I hear a lot of stories here in Portugal. Okay.
The same with architects, for example. You can go to the what we call Ordem dos Arquitetos and ask with the name if this person is really an architect or not.
And what is about real estate agents?
Real estate agents, they need to be registered as well.
So not everybody can be a real estate agent.
No.
Okay.
No. You need to be declared. You need to pay taxes again.
Yeah, of course.
You need to have a number to identify you as a real estate agent.
And are there
otherwise you are just a freelancer? Try your lucky.
Okay. And are there certain rules that real estate agents have to follow, or how does it work here?
Well, the real estate agents don't have a book to follow procedures. Every real estate agent have their own method to show properties, to show information, get clients. Every real estate agent have a different way to act. Normally, the goal, it is always selling, selling and selling.
Yeah.
In some cases they are helpful, in others they are not.
So
you
they are
need
not
to be careful with.
Yeah, so they are not forced to be 100% honest with you, or so they need to have a lawyer to
just for their image in the market, because otherwise some problems can happen in the future. And of course it is better to prevent problems than solve after they happen.
Always. Thank you so much for watching. We really hope this video offered you some helpful information. Renato, if people get curious about your work or need your help, how can they reach out to you, and how does it work exactly?
People can find me in my email and start contact there, and I will give you an answer as soon as possible.
Okay, so we will definitely put your email down in the descriptions, and yeah. So thank you so much for watching the video. May the source bless us all. Keep rocking.